friends of Fromage, Fromage with Friends. Welcome everybody out there to Sunday night at Benissimo. And this is a pretty good way to spend a Sunday evening, right?
Absolutely, yes.
I think so. We hope you are all going to enjoy the night, enjoying the day so far. It's just going to get better if you have one of these plates today. I'm Gina, Cheese Whiz at Benissimo, and I'm here with Sarah, who is the manager up here at the Del Mar shop. And also Kristina, who is an expert monger, and she is going to tell you all about this exciting plate that you have. And Kristina, what is the plate today?
Today we are going to talk about my new favorite cheese, Alpine. Now I know I said Gouda was my favorite last time, but...
And then Brie was your favorite.
And then I went through a stage where I was buying Wheels of St. Angel, but we're past that. I've transcended.
We're past that.
Yes.
She just bought a Wheel of St. Angel last week.
A wheel?
Yeah.
Just no judging.
I dabble.
No judging. Just...
It's good.
Yeah, we're past it. We're past
Okay, back to the matter at hand
new
here.
favorite.
The new favorite, so Alpines. So they're also known as mountain cheeses, and on your plate today, you're going to have Beaufort d'Alpage, Gruyere 1655, Schnebelhorn, Alp Blossom, and Pleasant Ridge Reserve. And we'll talk about where they're from and all these fun stories about it. We also have some cranberries, kiwi, Marcona almonds, apricot, and some homemade onion jam that Sarah makes.
Yeah, very tasty. Special treat for you guys today.
Yes.
Very.
Okay. So Alpines. What are Alpines? So simple terms is that Alpines are cheeses that are indigenous to the Alps, which countries like France, Italy, Austria, Germany, and of course Switzerland are on the Alps. It refers more to a style of cheese making than a specific type of cheese. Right away, you'll notice all the cheeses are going to be like semi-firm, so not like anything creamy and spreadable. They're also unpasteurized cow's milk cheeses. So they're all raw milk, and they're cooked pressed cheeses, which means the curds are cooked before they are pressed, and they all have washed rind. So if you look at any one of them, really, they kind of have like a brown, like russet, like a potato color.
That's a good way to describe it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so when a washed rind, like these Alpines, they put this, what is it called?
Just like a mixture.
Yeah, like a mixture, of like brine, whey, and old cheese scrapings. And it's like about 480 species of bacteria that are on it, which explains a lot because sometimes
They
They're
smell.
stinkers.
smell stinky.
Mm-hmm. If you took the lid
Yeah.
off,
Ooh.
you probably got like
A whiff. Yeah, you're like, what is that?
The Beaufort for
that's
sure.
the cheese.
Yeah, you gotta smell all of the ends, all of the rinds
And
of
you
these.
you can eat it. I don't know if you want to eat all of them. Maybe the Alp Blossom, you'll find out why later. That might be okay. But
Yeah.
the other ones.
Wow, the Alp Blossom is knocking my socks off. I gotta tell you, I don't know about you. When you
It has a very I know it has. We'll talk about it. It has
Yeah.
herbs and stuff on the outside, so it has a very savory smell.
It sure
Ooh,
does.
But
Hello.
I haven't thought to compare all the smells.
Yeah, it's kind of fun to compare all this. It's going to be on your fingers all night, everybody, just so you know.
Oh, man.
It will
Oh,
stick.
man.
Don't
to
be
the
touching your
fingers.
hair or
Don't be touching.
anything.
No, it's like
Oh.
not behind the ears, anything like that. Well, we already have, FYI, a fan of the jam, Kristen.
Oh, nice.
Loves it. So, Kristen, yes. Thank
We
you.
put that on our, we have a sandwich that we make in-house called the Nutty, and it's Gruyere and onion jam, and so that's what I make the jam for, is for our sandwiches, but it's just perfect with Alpine cheeses. So I made it fresh this morning for you guys to put on your plate.
Didn't
Very
you do it to make it like a French onion soup?
Oh yeah,
Flavor?
I mean that's the goal.
Yeah.
I mean it's just like a ton of wine, a ton of onions, and then like some herbs and spices and stuff, and it's just
So good.
Yeah.
You also make the spicy apple jam too.
Yes.
Yes.
I also make the spicy apple for our savory sandwich. That's the cheddar and savory apple garlic jam. That one's good too.
Oh, and so good with the Alpines. Oh,
Yeah.
do go on.
So, honestly, red, white would go good. Wine would go good with any of the Alpines. Like a mild red or like a dry white. Tonight, what are we drinking?
If anyone caught the Wino Wednesday this week, we have the Petite Syrah from Fopiano that we had for the Wino Wednesday. That was one of my first Wino Wednesdays I've actually participated in from home, and the wine was just so good. I was like, we have to drink it again because I
have
didn't
more.
get enough. No,
Nah, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
I certainly did, but I'll have more.
but I'll have more. But I feel like with Alpines, you could go either way. It's kind of just what you're in the mood for.
Yeah.
because the cheeses are kind of heavy, so like a nice light white would be really nice, but then also the red wine kind of matches up better, so I don't know. I was in the mood for more red.
So there you have it.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Good choice.
Thank you.
Good choice.
It's my specialty, picking out wine that I like.
All right. Well, so the first cheese we're going to talk about is Beaufort.
So Beaufort, that
Yep.
was this
So
guy.
that's the top left.
Yep. It's from France. It's aged 5 to 18 months, and it's made with summer's milk. That's where the Alpage comes from. So there's this practice called, okay, here I go because I can't say these words, transhumance.
That was right.
Okay. So what that is, it is the practice of the cows migrating up the mountain. So they start at the lower elevations in the winter up to the top summer, so May through October, and then they come back down, and that's when the cows come home, right?
Yeah,
It's
so
like a
hence
big-
the
And
term.
it's a big
Big
event.
celebration.
Yeah. And so the cheesemakers will follow the herd as they go up the mountain, and there's these special mountain chalets where they make the cheese in there, and there's like these little huts, and they have these big copper pots, and they pour the milk in there, and they make it, and they make them these large wheels because they have to get them back down the mountain. And
You
like,
want to carry a ton of them, you know.
no. And like, this is Beaufort right here. So as you notice, it has like this concave rind. That's because they would wrap rope around the wheel of cheese, and they tie it to the donkey, and then they can carry it down, because
How much does the wheel weigh?
80 to 130 pounds.
Isn't that crazy?
Those are
80
strong
pounds.
donkey.
That's like, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, that's crazy.
This is
Strong
only
donkeys.
this wedge that we got here. This is an eighth of a wheel. That's how we order it, by the eighth.
Yeah.
Yeah, because and that's already 20 pounds or
Yeah,
so.
that's
I mean,
like
it
a
really
20-pound
can be
piece.
crazy. And Kristina, the Beaufort was the one in the top corner,
Yes,
right?
yes, yes,
So,
yes.
Carol, you were asking which one's the Beaufort. Top corner, it's got a flatter triangle shaped piece with a brown edge. I know they kind of look all alike. Brown edge, and it's got a little bit of a discoloration, you know, a different color right at the rind level. So that's how I would,
It is the
Say,
only
yeah.
wider triangle
okay,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's the shape you're looking for on your plate.
by the jam, like top left by the onion jam. It's very sweet to me. I haven't had it in a long time.
Yeah, it varies to me from
Yeah.
wheel to wheel so much.
And it will, and that's due to the milk, and like when they're milking the cows, because like in the summer, the milk will be more grassy and earthy, and then when you get more towards the fall, it's going to be that nutty, earthy kind of flavor. So I think that's really cool that it changes. Like it can always be different, right? So it takes 45 cows and 2 milkings to make 1 wheel of cheese.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
Isn't that so crazy, you guys? You know, nobody realizes how much milk goes into making a piece of cheese. Hence, you know, why is cheese so expensive? There's
Yeah.
one reason.
This is
The
why.
amount of cheese needed, you know, on top of the other everything else. But Beaufort, that's interesting because, you know, I think people often think of only Switzerland when you think of Alpines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you forget that the French Alps, you know, also contribute to the Alpine world in such a good way.
Well, I think we started to describe. We don't really much say Swiss cheese here anymore because
No.
as soon as you say Swiss cheese, people think of like the square
Yeah.
pieces sliced with holes that you buy at the grocery
Yeah.
store. But when we're describing those kind of cheeses, we always say Alpine cheese now, and people they just understand that a little bit better what they're getting, and like all of these, everything we're tasting tonight is Alpine, but from a different place.
Yes.
But they all taste very similar. It's like a style that all taste very similar.
Yeah, made in that good, beautiful style. And I have to bring up, you asked, you know, you were talking about the transhumans.
Yeah.
That, you know, movement of the cows from the valley to the hilltops. I mean, that's something you guys, there's another video on our channel. Go look for it, just look at Cow Parade. We called it the Cow Parade. Because, okay, you've seen at the shop, and if you ever come to any of the shops, you'll see a cowbell hanging there. And all the cows are wearing these bells, and they're all decorated when they come down the hills. We'll see.
Oh, yes.
When they come down the hills, they are decorated. They are wearing these huge bells, and the farmers will decorate them with, you know, fronds of lavender
Oh
and
my
just, you know,
God.
anything that they can find, you know,
Yeah,
there in the
that
fields
sounds so
for
great.
the journey home for the winter. And it's such a unique experience. They do it all over the Alps. I mean, you will see this in France, in Austria, Germany, Switzerland, wherever. It's something to behold. Just
Yeah.
something that's just so part of their culture and nature, and that's just what the cows expect.
So
and
unique, yeah.
It's so unique.
Do you think the cows remember each year, like that this is something that they've done, or like will
Like
do?
it's their Coachella? They're like having a hot girl summer. Coachella, oh my god.
Yeah.
Let's start a festival. Oh no. Start a festival
Oh my God.
in Europe.
Coachella.
Coachella.
They're gonna think we're crazy Americans
I
coming
love
to
it.
Europe.
I love it. Oh, that's so great. Oh my
So
gosh.
great, so great. But Coachella, now it's not going to move on it.
I'll bring it up next September.
Yes,
So,
Coachella.
Venissimo does like what do you call it, a food tour?
Our voyage.
Voyage,
The
yeah.
mini voyage.
So we go and there's different countries that you can sign up for. I signed up for the Alps next September. So we're going to go to Germany, Austria, Switzerland. I get to see the cows come home.
You get to see the cows.
I get to go.
2022 next year.
Yeah, can I get the days off?
I'll check my calendar. I think you're working that day.
And then Sarah.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
So but go to the website and check it out because there's Italy, there's France too.
They're finally
Sicily.
back. Like we had to take these times
I
out
know.
for the
So now
the
we have
voyages.
pent up travel needs.
travel bug. Yeah.
And Oktoberfest.
Oktoberfest.
That's what
And you don't even have to like beer to like Oktoberfest. I'll tell you that. I don't drink beer. Love Oktoberfest.
Do they have wine at the Oktoberfest?
They do, of
Oh,
course.
of course they
So
do.
good. And they don't mind if you walk around with a bottle. They don't mind if you fall over and lay down in the corner. It's all
Can take a
fine.
nap.
Take a nap. They've got nap zones. It's all good.
This is amazing.
That's
so
good.
excited.
Our friend Carol asked about eating the rind, and you mentioned a little.
Yes.
bit.
So technically you can if you'd like.
It's edible.
It's edible. Remember, 480 species of bacteria, so just remember that. It's fine. I might be, you know what, I'm going to try it.
I like it.
You do?
It's more
Today.
firm. I mean, it's
Yeah.
it's not like you're eating a brie rind that's still kind of soft. This is like verging on like a Parmesan rind that's hard and very different than the rest of the cheese. If you're like making fondue,
You could use it, yeah.
you just throw the whole thing in. I think you could throw the Beaufort rind in. It's not too hard.
Of
Yeah,
fondue.
it might melt itself down. But it's not too offensive, like
No,
this rind at all. Like some of them are kind of too crunchy or very, very stinky or weird.
Yeah.
This
Yeah,
one isn't.
not too
It's
bad.
just natural. It's natural bacterias in the wash, and it's hard because it's dried out. So that combination is all it is, but completely natural.
Yeah. So you mentioned fondue.
Yes.
So Alpine cheeses are what you would use in fondue. So
Yes.
you might have heard like Gruyere and fondue, but any of these you could actually use.
I'd say any Alpines.
Yeah.
I think my fondue philosophy, and I don't. She's like, "What's your recipe?" And I was like, "I don't know. Just some of this until it looks good." Like
The right texture.
I mean,
yeah.
the trick to fondue is, I'd say number one, you shred your cheese and you toss it in cornstarch. That helps to number one, the cheese doesn't clump.
Yeah.
And number two, that helps as a binder in your fondue. It keeps it nice and creamy. And number two, wine, of course. That's the base of your fondue. You heat up the wine, you throw in the cheese. It's delicious. If it's too thin or it's too thick, add more wine. Too thin, add more
White
cheese.
wine, just in
White
case.
wine, yes.
Just in case.
Yeah.
White wine.
Red wine is so ugly, purple color. If
Ooh.
you try it, yeah, it's good.
You tried it?
I did try it.
Oh.
But it's just a hideous color. Like
Yeah.
you just, we're so used to that aesthetic.
Yeah.
White's better.
I feel like with fondue too, you'll see, I really like the Schnebelhorn, which we'll try later.
Ooh.
It has a lot of funk to it, but you wouldn't use all of that in a fondue. You'd have like a little bit of Beaufort, a little bit of Gruyere, and then come in with like the Schnebelhorn that's a little bit stronger.
Yeah.
Just to really kind of round out your fondue. That's our favorite way to eat it and make it. We've made, when we used to do Cheese Feast, which was a long time ago, we
Seems
had
like decades.
I mean, our last one was probably like a year and a half ago, a long time ago. It was a buffet event, which, buffets are gone till forever. But it's like everyone was so hooked on us doing a fondue every month. Like we started it in like a September month when it was colder, but then it just stuck. Everyone asked for a fondue, so then we started making fondue with whatever we wanted. It doesn't have to be
Alpine.
an Alpine cheese. So everyone's favorite fondue, you're not going to guess. Memoir truffle Gouda fondue.
Yes.
That
It was
sounds good.
so good.
Yes.
So good. Because the cheese is so creamy and like
Oh.
you don't have to use an Alpine cheese for fondue. I know that's
Yeah,
traditional,
yeah.
but as long as the cheese is nicely melted, it's killer.
Yeah, which would be like something high in fat and
Yeah,
Yes.
like this,
Yeah.
like this texture of what we're
Yeah.
eating today. This semi-firm, creamy texture. This is what you want for a fondue, and anything.
So it's a cheddar with that texture. Good too.
Yeah, creamier texture. I
Creamier
think
texture. Yeah.
sometimes the cheddars you need like a carrier cheese, like something creamy to kind of help it along
makes
the
sense.
way.
That
Like
makes
not
sense.
all cheddar.
Not all cheddar.
Yeah.
But I'm with you, the blend of everything.
Yeah.
This is
Oh,
where
yeah.
you're coming into your fridge and just taking all your leftover bits. I mean, you can almost do that.
Yeah,
you
you
can throw in
could.
some blue in there to give it a little oomph.
and garlic.
Garlic.
You gotta rub the pot with
Yes.
garlic. You cut it in half, rub it, and that way, oh, it's
Yeah.
so good.
For flavor, tradition, superstition, everything, right?
Rub a little behind you.
Yes.
Keep those vampires.
Vampires away. The cheese alone, rubbing that behind yours will
Oh,
keep it
man.
away, I think. But
Yeah.
okay.
How's everyone liking the cheese? The first cheese.
So I think it's very subtle. I'm with you. Did you say that already? Yes. Mm-hmm. This is one of, to me, more of the more subtle Alpines.
Mm-hmm.
You know, versus the nutty, which we'll get to in your
Yeah.
face ones. Mm-hmm. Go for
What's next?
prawns.
All right. Next, we are moving on to the one right next to it, Gruyere 1655. So
So these are kind of in the little this shape, right?
Matchsticks.
Mm-hmm. Matchsticks.
Big matches.
now this cheese is an authentic Gruyere AOP from Switzerland. What does AOP mean, Sarah?
We just took a bite.
Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't looking.
So we've talked about like the AOC for Italian cheeses. The AOP is all kind of about the same thing. The Appellation d'Origine Protégée.
Very good.
Yeah. So it's just like a protected designation of origin, which is how they say it in English. But it's just Gruyere is made in a certain place by certain animals, made of certain milk. It just has these rules set so that, you know, this is, if you're going to make Gruyere, this is where you have to make it. These are the cows you have to make it with, and it keeps it all consistent.
So this one, oh, it's so good, isn't it?
Okay.
Yeah.
You guys, by far, this is one you have. A lot of people keep Parmigiano in their fridge at all times. Gruyere should be another one. In the fridge at all times for every purpose, right?
I agree.
Melting. Gruyere. Eating. Snacking. Gruyere.
Frittata or
Frittata. Gruyere. Eggs. Gruyere. Anything. When would you not use Gruyere? Someone? Anyone?
Never.
Anyone? I don't think there's such a thing.
Nope.
Just saying. This is my standby Alpine. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I
You
agree.
love?
No,
I love.
absolutely. Super good. It's like fudgy, the texture. Kind of like, like that Jeff Select kind of texture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a thick texture.
It's so good. These wheels are big too, yes?
Yes,
Oh.
yes. So, if you take a look,
Here, I'm Vanna White over here.
the whole wheel is like 68 to 88 pounds. This is just a quarter of the wheel.
This
So-
is a 20-pound quarter.
What a
It's
beauty.
18 pounds.
Yeah, so 20, so it's an 80 pound.
Yeah,
So when you stand up the whole wheel, it stands up like 2.5, 2.5 feet,
Yeah.
which is like the size of your child.
I know. It's like the size of Loretta.
Right?
That's crazy.
So Kristen's loving it with jam. So Kristen, this is like the
The classic sandwich.
it is the classic sandwich. It's
Or
French
the
onion soup
French
in a
onion
bite.
soup.
That's what I'd like to think of it as.
Let me give this a
Mhm.
whirl and then try it.
And that's what the intention was, to make that French onion soup flavor. And Gruyere is typically used on French onion soup. You could use any of these Alpines to
Yeah.
do that, of course.
It's so melty and stringy.
But it's so good with the onion. Sarah, that's so sweet. This one's really bright.
really good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, because
I like
it has a lot of wine in it. It keeps that purple color.
I see a theme with you.
It's all cooked off. I promise.
A little bit. That's great, Kristina. Great. Mm-hmm.
So this cheese
Gruyere.
is super special because the 1655 brand is kind of like a what is it, like a private reserve kind of thing. The ager wanted to highlight the best cheeses that their dairies had, and so they did what's it called, like they test the cheeses. So the dairies will bring the cheese in, and this panel of judges will judge the cheese every month for 5 years, and each cheese will be worth 20 points. They're graded on condition, taste, texture, and consistency. and you have to score a minimum of like 19.5 points every month for 5 years to meet the criteria to become a 1655 brand.
To get stamped like that.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly.
Wow.
So
It's special.
And it's all over the wheel that it's 1655.
Yes.
I mean, it says it everywhere. That's super important.
and I believe the
Affineur. You can say it.
Affineur.
You got it.
Throw it around all day. They worked with, I think, about 30 dairies, and Lacret, is that how you say Lacret?
Mm-hmm.
They are one of 3 dairies that met that criteria, so that's really impressive. Their average is like 19.67, which is
I mean, that's to
crazy.
Yeah, to do that consistently, like you said, over the
every
years
year.
and every year, and so good. It's just really good. What's interesting to me, because this is another thing with the Alpines, you can see they're all kind of light beigey color. This one's the lightest of the bunch.
It is.
Normally, that to me means because it's a different milk. The winter milk is less golden than the summer milk.
Oh,
So
yeah.
this is telling me this is a winter wheel.
Oh, yeah.
Because from some point, you know,
No, that makes sense.
last year's winter or whatever, just because it's a little lighter than normal. So each wheel is going to be different.
Yeah.
That's what I love.
I
That
love
they're
that
not
too.
exactly the same.
And I love that you know that, and I love that you can go to parties and be like, oh, this was a winter, late
this
winter.
winter wheel.
Yes, I love that.
I love the winter, the summer, the spring, and the fall.
They're aged
So
12
good.
months.
Ah, 12,
A
okay.
minimum of 12 months.
But this is a younger one.
Yes, this is a younger one. And
So good.
then, what else? There was something else. I
But you
wanted
can
to
eat the
talk
rind
about.
here too. You could.
You could.
It's crunchy.
I want to try it.
Yeah, eat it.
There might be a sticker on some of
Yeah,
it.
I
It's
feel
paper.
It's paper. Yeah.
I don't like
Let's
the
see.
rind.
You're not a rind girl? Not even with the no, there she goes. No rind for
Crunchy.
Kristina. But that's the beauty of cheese. You eat the part that you like, and no one
And
will
then we
take
judge
offense.
you after.
And we'll try to do that. I am growing as a cheese monger.
Oh, you're trying them. That's
I'm
great.
trying.
Yeah, you've tried everything.
You know what I think the secret is? It's made with glacier salt. Did you know that?
Is it?
It is, yeah. Glacier salt. So
Glacier salt.
that glacier salt is like millions and millions of years old. Maybe 1 million, I don't know. But
We'll go with it.
yeah. But a lot of the Alpine cheeses are low in salt because it's really hard to travel salt up the mountain. So they try to not use as much.
Really?
Yeah.
It's so salty though.
I think it's when they cook the curds. It gives it that.
Oh.
It helps give it that stronger taste.
The taste. Carol, who's one of our super fans, thank you, Carol, brought up, that there's definitely different grades of Gruyere. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
Gruyères are made industrial, sliced,
Yeah.
to put on sandwiches. You've got that version of Gruyere, still made in Gruyere to those techniques,
Yeah.
but on an industrial scale. And then you've got something like the 1655. You have Kaltenbach, which is a cave aged. It's a beautiful Gruyere as well. There's
Yeah.
so many slightly different ways that they age it. The affinage of them can be slightly different, and then it creates a different cheese, but all made in that same procedure,
Yeah.
same
Yep.
style.
Yep.
We used to get back in the day. This is like 2 years ago.
Way back.
Way back. We used to always have 2 Gruyères. We had the 1655, and then we had the cave age, the Gormino.
The Gormino, all right.
And so that one too, we would always bring in a whole wheel for Thanksgiving and a whole wheel for Christmas. So just think
80,
Wow.
100.
80 pounds for the month of November and December. And like they'd send it in this whole wheel. It would take like 3 of us to cut it in
Right?
half.
Yeah.
It was huge. And we stored it like leaning up on one of the cases until we needed
'Cause you
to open
can.
it. But then last year, and this is not like a sad COVID story why we couldn't get the cheese. It won this amazing award of cheese of the year, so it was sold out everywhere. So we
couldn't get
haven't
it.
had it in over a year. Hopefully this year, I'm trying to get my hands on some
If
of
anybody's
it.
going to get it.
It's me to get it.
Yeah.
I mean, we used to have people that are like, no, I don't want the 1655. I want the older stuff. But it's like you come back to this, and it's like, well, this is the good stuff too.
Right? Hence, try them all. That's all I
Yeah,
can
I
say.
mean, they're all very
Yeah.
different. A lot of people like the creamier Gruyere.
Yeah.
The older one is firmer and more crunchy, dry, and I mean, I like the creamy one.
Yeah. What a great thing. So classic Swiss, right? The classic.
Yeah. Do you know where it got its name, the 1655?
No. Why 1655?
So they say that in the year 1655, there was a nobleman in his carriage, and he was getting robbed, and these two cheesemakers were in their house, and they heard some trouble. And so they ran over there, they helped him, brought him back to their house, and they gave him some Gruyere cheese and some bread, and they were really embarrassed by it, but all we have is cheese and bread.
Yeah.
And so the next day, the nobleman left, went on his way, and a couple days later, the nobleman's worker came, and he said that's the best cheese he ever had, and he would love for you to make cheese for his family. And so, to commemorate that event, they named it 1655.
Okay, I
like that
love,
story.
love,
Yeah.
love that story, and we're going to say that is it.
Yeah.
That is,
It's
I love
true.
that story.
Yeah, it's super cute.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Well, they used to pay taxes with cheese. I mean, cheese was a form of payment back in the day. Could you imagine that? We would be rich. We have so much cheese here.
so much.
She's rich. She's rich. They have banks where you take out loans for your dairy or something, and then you give them cheese as like collateral. Like,
Yeah.
Like
Oh my
that
God.
happens today. Like
Really?
Yeah, I saw it on YouTube.
Then it must be.
But like they
Open a
went,
bank of cheese.
yeah, and they went, and there's like a guy at a desk, like a banker, and he
Oh
was
my
just
God,
like,
that's
"All right,
awesome.
we have X amount of wheels, and you owe us this much, and you
Oh
don't get your
my
wheels
God.
back till you pay us
Until you
yeah,
pay it.
Yeah,
So cheese is collateral.
Wow.
yeah, I thought that was really cool.
That
Oh, I
is
love
really
it.
cool.
I love it.
Does everyone else like the Gruyere as well?
Yeah, we're getting good comments on the
Yeah.
Gruyere. I like that hint of crunch you got on it. You got that teeny bit of that crystallization in there.
Mhm.
I like that too.
Yeah, the sweet
Texture.
and salty.
Yeah,
that's what
exactly.
I like about it.
So
Yeah,
good.
best of both.
Mhm. That's a great way to think of Gruyere.
And it's good with that onion
Mm.
jam too.
And with the wine, and with the jam.
Did you know you can eat the rind on a kiwi too, like the skin?
You can eat the skin.
Yeah,
Okay.
I didn't know that. I don't usually. Let's try
You know,
it.
this is the one fruit I think I'm slightly allergic to. 'Cause
Really?
It makes
Really?
my throat, I get scratchy in the back, so slightly, but it's not enough to make me not eat one.
Oh.
You're trying to kill Gina?
I'm gonna try it.
Now I know.
I'm gonna try too.
Well, that's why you slice it nice and thin too, so
Oh,
you
yeah.
can take a bite.
Mm-hmm. But that's another thing, tropical fruits. We always think of the regular fruits with cheese, but tropical fruits with cheese are great.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And this one being one, so good call.
I always get, when I go visit Hawaii, I get like a pineapple spicy like pepper jam, and it's so good
With the
Saint
cheese.
Angel that I buy all the time.
Just saying, those pieces that she said she bought the whole thing are 2 pounds in one.
It's delicious. If you-
Only 2 pounds.
Only 2 pounds.
I
But
would
remember
say
you
come on
liked us. You
Yes,
loved it.
I did love it. Yeah, and then if you come down and try to find
No
it, I
shame.
can't guarantee it's here
Because she ate it.
because I ate it.
Customers think it's hilarious, and we're like, "Sorry, we're out."
Kristina
Wow,
again.
Kristina was here this weekend and it's gone.
Oh man.
Oh, so good. I love the Alpines.
So
Love
we have
that.
another Swiss coming up.
We
Ooh,
do.
we're staying in Switzerland. Okay.
We are staying in Switzerland. We are going to try the one in the middle, the big old long triangle here. This is Schnebelhorn. Feel
What
free
a
to
name.
say it at home. Schnebelhorn. Schnebelhorn.
Schnebelhorn. Schneebs.
That's what we call it.
That's what you call it, the Schneebs.
It's a
Yeah,
shell.
that's the nickname for Schnebelhorn, the Schneebs.
Schneebs.
The smell. Is
But this one's a stinky.
It
Yeah, it is.
Not the interior.
No,
it's
the
the rind.
rind.
It's the rind.
It's not the-
You gotta smell both sides.
Yeah.
But the rind is what's gonna get you. How many bacteria in that rind? We suppose
480.
at least
480.
in this one.
This might have double.
This might be double.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
All right, I'll taste that.
But it's the good bacteria. Schneebs. Schnebelhorn. What a name.
Right away, you can tell that it's creamy. That's because it's a cream added cheese. So they add cream to it.
Ah, okay.
And it's named after the region's highest mountain peak,
This one here.
Schnebelhorn.
It's got a pretty purple label.
And you almost get like a, I want to say spicy, but not heat spicy, but just like a, what is that?
Was it piquant? Like a piquant spice?
Yeah. It's good.
It's
though.
like a little bit chalky to me.
Right.
Is it
Slightly.
pretty? Even with
Pretty?
the added cream?
I don't know. Maybe I'm just crazy.
What
I'm gonna try that chalkiness. I'm getting the creaminess
Like I
for
get
sure.
the,
That double
the
cream.
little crystals in there. You can even see some of them.
Uh huh. But a little chop. My
Slightly.
teeth are sliding on each other a little. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So you throw just like a little bit of this into a fondue. Like it's enough.
Just a little bit.
Yes, and it will make your kitchen very aromatic.
Uh-huh.
That's such a polite.
Is a way to
Don't
say
make
it.
fondue on a first date.
No, unfortunately, sad, right? It can really
Oh,
scare
man.
a few people away, I think. But
You know
but
what?
if you want to know right away if that person's a match for you, maybe throw this in right out of the gates.
I think so.
There's no just sneaking around. You know right away, right?
Right away. No sneaking around.
Just saying.
You want
But
her
if you
cute?
don't like cheese, you're out.
You're out. You're out. My honey on our first date, he made fish and onions.
Wow.
Yeah.
But you're
Bold
still
move.
with your honey.
Yeah,
So it
I
was a
know.
good
So
move.
yeah.
It
And
was-
then when he asked me out for the second date, he's like, "I'll cook for you again." I'm like, "Or you can take me out because we weren't doing fish and onions again."
No fish and onions.
And sometimes he makes it even now to be funny.
But do you like fish and onions?
I like fish. I don't. The onions. I don't like. What were you? I don't know. But we're still together.
But
so
you're
it worked
still together,
out.
so
it
it
worked
worked.
out.
Look at he's very bold. I like it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
right out the gate. This is when I'm
Bold.
If I had nothing else to feed you, would you eat this? Yes.
Carol, I think you're asking if the crunchy that we're tasting is the salt
Mhm.
in there, and some of it, yes, is the salt in the cheese.
But
and
it's the same crystals you find in a
the aged Gouda.
like in a
Aged
Gouda.
Gouda.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just the crystallization of the amino acids in the aging process. The older it is, the bigger and more crystals it has.
It's like richer and more like decadent. I feel like than the other Alpine.
Yeah, like more savory. Like you could almost say, not smoky, but that sort of like
A little smoky,
a
yeah.
little
Yeah.
bit of smokiness.
There's something dank, dark, smoky. I always think of darker things.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
trying to come up with.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And
No.
there's definitely that.
Definitely.
The question came up on the rind because it is a stinker, and it's because it's washed. I mean, it truly comes down to the fact that it is a washed rind. It's brine
Right,
washed.
here you
This
go.
one's brine, saltwater washed, and that encourages this bacteria to grow. So the best way that I can say it, and it holds true for Alpines, it holds true for soft cheeses, any cheese. When you see that reddish, pinkish rind,
Okay.
that's typically a washed rind. Oh, you can see how
This is the
red,
underside.
pink that rind is. There's our Schneebelhorn, the Schneebs.
Yeah.
Schneebs.
That's the mold, or the mold
Yeah.
that grows with a Alpine cheese.
And they want to encourage that growth. That growth adds flavor, and then it protects the interior of the cheese as the cheese ages. So it's there. It's a dual purpose it's there for. Saltwater brines are so popular and important in cheese making because that preserves the cheese. This is why cheese was invented, to preserve milk.
Preserve the milk,
Milk's going to go bad. What can we do to preserve it? Salt, of course, is nature's #1 preservative. So you wash the outside in the salt, creates this protective layer, adds flavor, preserves. Kill two birds with one stone.
Two birds with
How
one
perfect
stone.
is this? Yeah. So Schneebs does it very, very well, and I'm going to smell like this all night. I can tell
I know.
already.
I
But I
smell-
love it.
yeah.
Love it.
Like I said, don't touch your hair.
That's what your hair. It doesn't come in as big wheels. This comes in like a 15
Like
pound
15,
wheel.
Yeah. It's more manageable. You get the whole wheel, right?
Yeah. It's
Mhm.
a
We do like a wheel a week of Schneebelhorn.
yeah. Yeah. I would say
People
so.
love this cheese. It's a new favorite for us at Del Mar. In the last year or so, last couple
Of
years.
Schneebelhorn?
Yeah.
Schneebs?
It's
Yeah.
one of those like you get it in to try it for the first time and it quickly becomes like all the customers' favorites. And this is one of them.
And this
yeah.
is one.
I think anything with a fun name to say is good.
Yeah.
Like, Hollerhocker is also really good.
That's another Alpine.
Schlossberger is also
Schlossberger.
good.
What about Sternschnuppe?
Oh,
You
I
had that
forgot
for a
about
while?
the Sternschnuppe. You've never even had that
She's like, what are you saying? Another
I could just make up one right now.
And people would say, yes, that is one.
Sternschnuppe.
Sternschnuppe. Okay, but the stinky granddaddy of them all, and I think, Sarah, you'll agree, Vacherin Free Bourgeois.
Free bourgeois.
And now people ask about this. Swiss people, for sure. If you've been to Switzerland, Vacherin is the stinkiest of the stinkiest,
Classic
right?
for
Of the
fondue. For like
Yeah.
classic French fondue. Swiss
Are we
French.
getting it?
You'll get it in the fall, right?
We'll get it in the fall only because customers request. It is sticky.
Is it the smaller
No,
one?
no,
Oh,
that's
okay.
Vacherin Montour.
Oh, okay.
Different.
Ah,
I
yeah,
got
very
Vacherin.
different.
So Vacherin Free Bourgeois, it is sticky.
Like this
it is
big.
wet. It is
Oh.
smelly. It is like you have to put gloves on to touch it, or you're gonna smell
Hazmat
like
suit?
Yeah.
For a week.
You will smell like
cannot-
that for a long time. And we like lay paper down when you're gonna get it out so you don't set it on the table because it smells
Wow.
that bad. And
And
I only
it
buy it because
sticks.
people ask for it. But
Yes.
I can just picture this. Like
I
someone
don't-
orders it.
I don't even
Yeah,
know if
freaks
I've
out.
ever tried it. horrible to say. I don't think I've tried it.
Okay, the Vacherin.
But
that rhymed.
people buy it. People
Wow.
like it. People buy it because they read a recipe. This is classic fondue, and so that's why they want it. But
Schneebs will do the trick.
yes, it will. Less sticky.
Yeah.
And this one has a fun story too.
Okay, I want to hear.
So, Rito Grutensberger, ish, I think that's how you pronounce it.
Go with it.
Yes. So, he is the creator of Schnabelhorn. So, his daddy actually made Appenzeller, and his daddy's daddy made Appenzeller, but he wanted to branch out and try something new. But he wasn't allowed to do that because of something called the Swiss Cheese Union.
It's like the mafia of
It
Swiss
is.
cheese.
It is. So, yeah, it was a cartel mafia.
There
So-
was one, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they regulated everything that had to do with cheese, and he wasn't allowed to do anything on his own. But there was some scandal and fraud and kickbacks, and they disbanded in 1999. And so Rito was like Schnabelhorn. So
Yeah. No more Appenzeller.
no more Appenzeller. So
Ah.
he uses milk from the highest altitude, which I think is why it's so good, probably.
Yeah. So different.
And it ages about
So
8 to
good.
9 months, so a little bit younger,
Yeah.
but it's really
Which is
good.
funny because I feel like it has more crystals than the Gruyere and it's younger.
Go
But
figure.
it has more.
Mm-hmm. It does. It's got I love you get that pop
Yeah.
right on your teeth. Oh, I love that. I'm trying to spell Free Bourgeois. Vacherin Free Bourgeois. I'm working on it. The question came up, but Schnabelhorn's the one you should toss into your fondue gently,
Yes.
Gently.
moderately.
F-R-I-B. No.
F-R-I B-O-U-R, but joie. G-E?
J-O-I-S.
J-O-I-S?
I think it's
G-I.
J.
Oh,
I don't know.
Free Bourgeois. I have 17 years in cheese and I cannot spell Free Bourgeois because there's too many vowels. I protest.
They should have a cheesemonger spelling bee. Like that should be one of the events.
Exactly. How
Like
to spell
cheese
some of these
wrapping.
crazy.
Oh, here.
Okay,
Oh, you
she's
are
okay.
right.
Free or okay.
F-R-I-B-O-U-R-G-E-O-I-S. You're right.
E-O-I-S, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Vacherin Free
Free
Bourgeois.
Bourgeois.
Like the bourgeoisie.
Fancy. Mm-hmm.
That's what I
No
pictured.
guarantees that will be here, but many
Sociology
requests for
101.
it. Yeah. Schnibelhorn. Schnibble.
Schnabelhorn.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I love it.
I'm gonna try it with something on the plate, maybe.
Well, the onion. I could do like a bucket of the onion. I'm just saying.
I really like it with the
Why is it with-
blueberries. That's my
uh-huh.
favorite,
Oh,
like
oh.
contrast of
Okay.
Oh, I got a little
like
flour
savory and sweet and sour.
Try this because you haven't, ladies. Schnabelhorn with the rosemary. And we do this, I know, at Wine on Wednesdays. We eat the rosemary fronds with all the cheeses because they're so good. The
Yeah.
petals, fronds, I don't know what you call them. Eat them with the cheese. It's very, very good. Mm-hmm.
On the Schnabelhorn?
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
Do you ever eat the
One?
tribe?
No, that's so little.
She's a lady.
I just like one. It's like a TV bite, like one frond of rosemary.
Exactly. One little thing. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that wasn't enough.
It's good though.
I'm good.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's so fresh. It's just bright.
Okay, here.
And then does that count as my greens for the night? Like,
yes, it's a vegetable.
okay. Just asking.
What's
No, I
up?
got
The
it.
time. Give time or I'll equal.
And I have not give time some time is what you're saying.
Oh, that's clever.
It's good, right? I've had wine. It comes out. Yeah. Oh, it's so. That's really strong and robust.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
But not bad.
Mm-hmm.
There's
They're both
thyme
strong.
and onion jam too.
Okay. So good.
I want to know what's the favorite so far. What does everyone like?
Yeah, so for those of you out there, send your favorite so far because we would love to hear if there's a certain cheese that just really popped at you.
I'm loving the Gruyere.
Gruyere.
I keep going back to it.
I know. And I feel like sometimes people will ask, what's the favorite? I'm like, go to Gruyere. And I feel like, well, is that just so dull? But it's not.
It's not. I mean,
It's
and I
so good.
felt like I would have said Schnabelhorn because when I'm trying to introduce someone to a new Alpine cheese, I'll go for like the Hallerhacker or the Schnabelhorn. But like, because when you suggest Gruyere, they're just like, oh, not just Gruyere. It's like, but
this is
I actually like it better. Like, I ate all mine already.
It's gone. Yeah, I did too.
I ate all my Gruyere.
I'll sell you
we
my
all ate
Gruyere.
the Gruyere.
Uh-oh.
You guys
You'll
can-
sell it?
I'll sell it to you.
What are you bidding? I'm going to bid.
Go to the highest bidder.
I'll give you 3 kiwis.
All
Or-
right.
There you go.
Aww, Thank you,
Such a giver.
Kristina.
I am.
So we've got one vote for Beaufort from Carol.
Ooh.
Beaufort. And the Gruyere. And
Gruyere.
Kristina and her husband agree. Oh, they're so good. This is the thing. Yep. God, she knows me too well. Thank you. That's perfect.
I've known you long enough, Gina.
Yeah, you sure do. Thank you. Oh, Gruyere Beaufort. I do want to melt all of these now, like down together. They would be delicious.
Oh yeah.
No, we should have done that. Put a fondue
Sandwich.
pot and just threw our rinds in there. And
Oh,
what was left.
we'll get a. Oh, yeah.
Just be like, ta-da.
That's a nice way too. If you're not just fondue, but if you have a bunch of bits of cheese, shredding it, mixing it, putting it on a grilled cheese sandwich. That's a great way to use like bits. If you don't have like
Use the bits.
good pieces of cheese to make a sandwich, just
Yeah.
shred it. I mean, it's gonna melt really nicely too, but it gets all the flavors.
Yep. Yep.
With
No.
onion jam, like
Oh,
with our,
perfect.
our nutty.
Nutty. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Onion
Never,
jam's
ever,
insane.
ever waste a piece of cheese, right? Even the little bits in the fridge, right?
Mhm.
Mush them all up, put them in something. It's
Or
so
give
good.
it to the dog at least. Like
At
don't throw it
least.
away. Sorry, there's no panini today.
Not today.
man.
But so good. Oh, I love it. So
I did have customers the other day when they were trying to decide how much meat to buy, salami and prosciutto.
okay.
You know, and they're talking to themselves like, oh, so and so will have some. Oh, so and so will have some. Oh yeah, and the dog will probably have some too. So we'll get a little bit more. And I was
Like a quarter pound for the dog.
yes, and I was like, oh, okay, sure. I'll cut more for the dog. Like,
Do you want to come back as a dog in one of these homes? I do.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that's my next life is a dog in a good home because
Yeah.
we'll start selling dog trays.
we
Oh,
have
we
a
should.
we have a bunch of little doggy
Oh, no.
plates. Oh, here we go.
Someone's
I've got
gonna
two
come
things
in
on the
and be
list
like,
now. So we got to vote that all these Alpines, and would you agree, Kristina, would be great with charcuterie?
Oh yeah.
Any of the
Yeah,
beautiful
absolutely.
cured meats and
Yeah.
pate, salami, these are right there.
Yeah,
right?
the
like a-
cheese for it, yeah.
Like the smoked prosciutto, like speck would be really good. I always like spicy with alpine.
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
you're a spice girl.
Yeah.
Our own spice girl.
Actually, you're too.
Tell me what I want,
You
what I
know,
really
that's
want.
my nickname. Once again, back to my honey. I'm sorry.
Oh, the honey.
No, when I met him, I worked in a spice shop. We sold spices, so my nickname is Spice. So it's funny because he'll call me almost like a dog. He'll just go like, Spice, come here, and I'm like, yes, you know.
Here I am.
Yeah,
Oh, that's so awesome.
yeah.
Oh, I love it.
So-
Spice. Can we call you Spice?
I go.
I will now.
Spice. Yeah.
Spice. There she is. It works. It works.
All right. Alp blossom time.
Yeah, this is like a different one.
Yeah. Okay. So this is going to be in the bottom corner.
This one you can't
Bottom left.
miss.
Or bottom
Those are
left.
very
Bottom left.
distinctive. Yeah.
Bottom left. And right away,
Yeah.
you're going to see like this dry stuff. What this is dried herbs and flowers. 13 to be exact.
Do you know them off the top of your head?
Let's try.
Oh, here she goes.
Chervil, celery, oregano, rose petal, savory, marjoram, lavender, cornflower. I'm just gonna start naming herbs.
That's 8. That was good. Oh, there's some onion.
Marigold,
Oh, and marigolds.
Uh-huh.
onion.
I think there's onion.
There's 3 more.
Oh,
Whoa.
I see it.
Way to go, though. That was
Lavage.
good.
Getting
Lavage.
the
No one
lavage.
remembers lavage.
I
Who
know.
would? But well
Oh, and
done,
parsley.
Kristina.
And parsley.
And parsley.
And parsley. That
Yeah.
wasn't bad. That wasn't
That was
bad.
all of them besides the lavage and the
Well
parsley.
done. Bravo. I could not have named all
No.
this. No.
She studied hard for this class.
I did. You're
A
welcome.
plus.
A plus, yeah, double stars
Okay.
because that is truly good. From Austria.
It
So
is from
this
Austria.
Yes, Austria.
Yes.
And no, they have no kangaroos there, which is what all my cousins will always say because, no lie, a lot of times I'll say, oh yeah, my mom's from Austria, and I had a person once say, oh, I love Sydney. It happens all the time. People will be like, yeah, I've been to Australia. And you're like, no, it's Austria. We have no
Austria.
kangaroos. So that's their line. We have no kangaroos here, but from
I'm
Austria.
gonna ask for the kangaroos when we go on our trip.
Yeah,
like,
you ask them everywhere you stop, ask them for
Where are
kangaroos.
the
They'll love
kangaroos?
you.
The kangaroos.
They will love you.
It's like we have a sign at the top of the stairs that say, come to our piazza,
Yes.
our patio. People come in all the time asking if we have pizza
For the piazza.
for the piazza. They're like, where's your pizza? I'm like,
We have a
"No, We have a
piazza."
piazza.
We used to have like the boards hanging, and it looked
Oh,
like,
yeah,
like
they were,
the
like,
wooden
pizza
cheese boards. Yeah.
Should we have a pizza oven?
Hey, you're the one buying.
There's like 3 big ideas now tonight, just from this class.
pizza oven.
It's the wine.
It's the wine.
Love it.
We've got a double star so far for the Alp Blossom, and you gotta eat the flowers, everybody.
Yes,
you have to
eat
eat
the
the rind
rind
on
on
this.
this one.
And
it's
smell it
stinky
too.
You
Make
can
sure you
smell
smell it, yeah.
It's
Let me
stinky and floral because they wash it before they put the flowers on it,
Yeah.
so it's a double whammy.
And everything is hand covered. And
right?
this
They
one,
wrote it, yeah, by
yep.
hand.
And this is a fun story too. So before Alp Blossom, this cheese went by another name, Hubaner or Hubaner.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just like a naked piece of cheese. It was just, there was nothing special looking about it. And it didn't sell very well. So they decided, all right, we're going to throw these 13 herbs and flowers on it. And if you look at it, it's just beautiful. It's just herbs and flowers all over it. And then it just sold like crazy. So
This one's kind of hard to see from far away, but when you fresh open it out of the package, like while it's still vacuum sealed, it's like bright blue and purple.
Yep, all the flowers fall. It's just beautiful, right?
Yeah, but now that it's like more officially dried because it's not vacuum sealed anymore, they just turn like a dried herb color. But it's what's interesting too is that these are the same herbs and flowers that the cows graze on in their pasture.
Yep.
So it's like the flavors are also in the milk and on the outside of the cheese. It's like full circle flavor.
So true. This is one of the stops on the tour next year is the making of Alp Blossom.
Oh really?
So maybe you'll get to roll a wheel.
Oh, that's so cool.
That is super
Bring it
cool.
home.
I will.
Put your name on it, stamp on it, then it comes up to you. Maybe.
That'd be so amazing. We have to buy them all.
They do a special edition one for Valentine's Day that's like 75% rose petals and then the rest of the other
That's
stuff.
yeah.
So it's like super pink. It's really
How
pretty.
cool is that? Talk about working from the earth, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So good.
I love all the thought that's put into it.
Yeah.
And that's just funny that like we're gonna dress it up so it sells better. It's like let's put some
Throw a little
lipstick.
lipstick
Let's put some
on
lipstick
there,
on it so
some
even
eyeshadow.
cheese has to look beautiful
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Oh
Nobody wants to eat ugly cheese.
no, they don't. But
It's what's inside that counts.
let's have
And the
ugly
rind
cheese.
and the outside.
But the inside and the outside counts, though. Yes.
See,
oh
the
my
outside.
gosh.
And
All right.
and this is aged younger. This is a 7-month cheese.
And you can
Aged
kind of
6
yeah,
months.
the texture is very I don't even know what the word is. Bouncy, not spongy, but maybe bouncy. I'm not sure, but
And it's like brothy.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like
Like-
a savory, like umami.
Yeah.
This is one too. You could just toss a little bit into your fondue. A little goes a long way.
Yep.
The added like savory, herbaceous flavor would be really good. I've never done that.
Carol had asked where this one comes from.
I was
So
about
this
to
is
say
yeah.
that.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, because I got confused because just like with the Goudas, some of them were in 2 places. So this is created in Austria and then aged in Germany. So it's like a two-part.
A two-part thing.
Depends on
We have
who
so
you
many
ask.
of those cheeses
Yes.
now. Yeah, that are made one place but then aged in another, or
Yeah.
the affinage takes place elsewhere. But and where it's made in Austria, it's the Alps, so it's the northern Austria, close to the German border, is where it is made.
And it was created in 1910 by Austria's first cheese vocational school, which I thought that was
Oh,
really
that's super
special,
cool.
too.
Didn't know that.
That's not that long
Okay.
ago. It's
No,
not that old of a
it's
cheese.
it's a newer cheese, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Where like Beaufort, it's like
Oh, like
2,000 years. Yeah.
centuries.
Yeah.
They
I
love
also
the
sent
flowers.
with like a little bag of extra flowers.
I've used it on other things just because they're so pretty.
We coat it. We use it to coat soft goat cheese.
Oh,
And
beautiful.
if you use like the Capriccio Cabra that has no rind, it's literally just fresh chev.
Yep.
The petals actually dye the cheese. You can see the
Oh,
color,
the color
like
kinda seep
seeping
out?
into the cheese.
Ah.
It's so beautiful.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I love
We'll do that next time we
Yeah.
get a new wheel in.
Yeah.
This
That's cool.
is my new favorite on the list.
I gotta say tonight, I'm loving that too. Gruyere, no offense, because I love you, but we can have many
It's
loves.
tasting really good right now.
It's like dating.
Mm-hmm.
We're just, playing the field here.
Oh.
I don't know of any of the other cheeses. So I want to talk about the eyes that you get in cheese, like the little air pockets.
Schnebelhorn has some sometimes.
So, there's a.
Oh yeah. Look, I don't know if you can see. There's a small hole.
Which is like,
Right
okay,
up
think of
there.
like a cartoon picture of like Swiss cheese. So it has like the holes in it, right? So,
Are
that-
really eyes.
So the eyes, yes. So, during the cheese making process, it's the carbon dioxide gas creates these little air pockets, and then they stay there as the cheese hardens around it, and you end up with that, which I like how everything's
Science.
perfect. Yeah, I just like.
I do too.
You know, back in April, Roger, Gina's husband, he hand harvested some Swiss cheese holes
Yeah.
for us.
He did.
And we gave them out to all of our first 10 customers on April 1st.
They're only they're seasonal. They're
Yes.
only available on April 1st.
Yes.
But we will bring them back. I think that
Him
we
and
harvest
Panini
again.
harvested. Him and the dog. They went to Switzerland,
Yes.
harvested the Swiss cheese holes, and brought them, packaged them up, gave them away.
Mm-hmm.
People love them.
Love
Love
them.
them.
I mean,
Love
what's
them.
not to love? What's not to love? They will be back April 1st, 2022. Swiss cheese
One day
holes.
only.
One day.
Bye,
only.
bye, bye.
Well, yeah, but you want them fresh.
Yeah.
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 So.
That's too funny.
Too good. So far, Alp Blossom is a winner. Everyone's totally loving the Alp Blossom.
Yeah.
For sure.
You can still kind of smell like I smell rose, to be honest.
I get the onion,
Onion.
Oh,
yeah.
you're getting onion?
personally. I don't know why.
What are we gonna try this with?
I'm getting if you have any of the onion, it's so good with that.
All right. Here we
I'm
go.
getting some herb in there, but I can't decide because I've had too much wine. But I don't know. It's all good.
Is it the lavage you're tasting?
Maybe it's the lavage. I'm not sure what lavage tastes like.
I don't either.
Maybe.
I was reading her list.
No.
Oh, maybe it's the marjoram. That's like a herb that
Maybe. It's
you don't
just-
have very often.
Yeah, but it's got like a distinct little.
Chervil's really strong too. I don't like chervil.
Mhm.
But it's so delicate when it's fresh.
So good. Yeah.
Did you sell that at the spice
But
shop?
she did sell that at the spice shop.
Yeah, see?
Okay. See. You could add rosemary to it because then you're just in a little herb garden.
Yeah.
Lavender?
Or lavender. Sorry, I mean lavender and the
I
rosemary.
didn't get lavender in mine.
Yes, you did.
Ooh,
Right
that's
there.
super lavendery.
Sorry, I just wanted to make a scene.
But put the lavender with. Whoa, that's super lavendery. Let me get
I
it
love
right
lavender.
here. Whoop. I'd just say like a
I grow 3 types of lavender.
3 types.
Uh-huh.
Oh, because there are. I
There's
love
different
them.
types?
Yeah.
I have Spanish, English, and French.
How are they
Do
different?
they work well together? Do they like each other?
They're all separate. They're very finicky. They don't like too much water, and they like to be in their own little pot.
Okay. Which kind is this one?
This is, I think, the French.
Is that okay?
it's
That
the-
looks like the classic.
Yeah, the
Like I would
English
say traditional.
is the cute little one that has, like when you find like dried lavender,
Mhm.
like the cute little purple buds.
Mm.
The one that's like a stick and like
It's
the
more
purple
English.
buds. It's the
Yeah.
one I have a lavender tattoo on my ankle, but it's the English lavender
Okay.
with the little buds of
Yeah.
lavender.
Ah.
Bring some in.
I should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
The more you know.
It's good. That's intense. I just had one of the little fronds. It's intense lavender, but it's yum. I like it with the rosemary. Because lavender to me is sweet, and then rosemary is a little more savory, so I like them together. Mm-hmm.
Oh, so there's marigold. This is a marigold on my plate. I don't know. Oh,
I have
everyone.
one.
They got one. You may not have gotten one. We just put pretty yellow flowers on all of them. But
Used to be used to colored cheeses.
the marigold.
The petals, yeah.
Oh.
Mhm. But it did impart a flavor to the cheese.
Yeah.
And it's also edible.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, I mean, this is
Give it a
the
whirl.
yellow. I'm sure, I don't know if anyone has a big enough piece of Alp Blossom that you could see, but I can see here the yellow pieces is the marigold.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool. I did that on purpose.
Good job, Sarah.
I did.
Well done. Good you. Ah, so good. I'm gonna eat this whole plate. By
Like how
myself.
none of us eat the crackers.
No, I can't. I don't have room for
No,
crackers.
yeah, waste time on the crackers. With the Alp Blossom, you would cut off the rind if you put that in fondue, right?
No.
You would keep
Shred
the.
I would let
in.
them float in there.
But
yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Why not?
Because I'm the rind girl. Like I'm weird about the rind.
Well,
Mm.
I mean, if you bite it, aside from the herbs and getting a little bit of stringiness from that, the rind is not hard.
Oh.
And
Okay.
it just shreds right in. So you may get a little bit of texture
But
in
it's
your
not-
fondue,
yeah,
but
but
you're
it's not gonna
you're
be
not
that.
just like eating it off a spoon. You know, you've got it on bread or like vegetables or something that,
That
has
makes
texture.
sense. I'm gonna try it. I want to make fondue. And put
Yeah.
Alp
Put
Blossom.
Alp
Throw in some of the
Blossom in it.
petals.
Because it does have that like umami flavor, so I feel like
It'll be totally
it'll be
different.
really good.
Oh, delish. So far, so good, Kristina. Loving the Alpines. Knew I would.
All right, we're gonna talk about the last one in just a second.
Mm.
So we've had first we did
French.
Swiss.
Yep.
No, French. Yes.
Yep.
First was French. Then we had traditional Swiss. Then we had new kind
Yeah.
of hip Swiss.
Hip Swiss.
Then we had Austrian / German. Now What's our last one?
It's the Pleasant Ridge Reserve from Wisconsin. It is a domestic.
Domestic.
So it's a domestic alpine style cheese. So it is from Uplands Cheese. It is aged a minimum of 12 months in a smaller wheel too, kind of like Schnabelhorn, Schnebs.
This one.
Yep.
How pretty is that though?
Yeah, it's so smooth. I mean,
Wow, this
it's like a rounded wheel.
It looks like a UFO to me. I don't
Oh, yeah,
know
well,
why.
this-
I don't know, just a disc
Yeah.
shape.
And it's made only with summer milk, just like all the other Alpage cheeses, so May to October. The cows that they use are a crossbreed of 9 different types of cows. And they only make 6,000 wheels a year, which I think is crazy, just because I feel like how many other cheese shops might carry it and just...
Yeah, I mean, we haven't had it in a while, but it's 1 week.
Yeah.
We could probably sell a wheel in a week of this one. It's
Mhm.
smaller, maybe, would you say like 10, 12 pounds?
Yeah, about 10, yeah.
Wow. I've not had this for a while.
Yeah.
It's really creamy and good.
I find that it's a little bit younger than I remember.
Yeah, it can vary for sure. It also has a washed rind, but it's not a stinky one. This one's more dry to me. But I'll eat the rind. I like it. Pleasant Ridge.
Yep. So the best thing about this cheese
Thank God.
is this is the most awarded cheese in American history, which is super impressive. It's won Best in Show 3 times, and it also won the U.S. Cheese Championship. So there's 2 major cheese championships. It's the only cheese to have won both.
Oh, wow.
And it's the only one to have ever won 3 times Best of Show.
Yeah, nobody's come close. Yeah, it
Which-
really is. It's complex. It's not ordinary. The cheesemaker's name is Andy Hatch. And yeah, he does it all. It's a small creamery.
Yeah.
The cows graze right there. You know, it's a farmstead cheese, so the milk comes from cows from their own farm. And how cool that they're making a cheese. This stands up to the others.
It does,
Oh, yeah.
absolutely.
I mean, that's so good. That's the beautiful thing about American cheeses. Come a long way, baby. They're really good.
Yeah.
Competing against a cheese that's been around 1,000 years before, you know?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's so creamy and good. And the same techniques, the same method of cheese making happens, but different flavor.
Yeah.
Yeah, since it's not, you know, the whole goes back to the whole AOP thing. You know, it's not made in Switzerland with by Swiss cows. Like there are differences there, but
But wow, how good.
would you be able to tell a domestic Alpine cheese?
Yeah, not this one.
Like
Yeah.
a blind taste test?
No, this would be crazy blind to know which one was which.
We should do a blind taste test class.
Let's be blind, and everybody has to like wear a
That would be fun.
and would we
Or
do it with
just like we cut
styles?
off all the rinds, because that's
Uh-huh.
hard. Once you don't see
Oh
the
yeah.
rind,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
so like,
Oh,
you
I
know,
see what you're saying. Not
so
blind.
I would
even.
give you guys a plate, and like maybe just I would know, or just Kristina would know, and it's like,
I think it'd be fun.
yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
What
Fun.
kind of cheese do you think this is?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't see the rind, and you know, I can trick
Oh.
anyone with the shape of the cheese. I mean, I
I
don't have
can
to.
trick anyone.
I can do weird shapes. Like you may not be able to tell even how big the wheel is based off the cut that it
Right.
gave you. But
Exactly.
can you guess this cheese?
Let's do blind.
Blind taste test.
Another idea.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. Wonderful, delicious.
I love this one.
Yeah. I do too.
Yeah.
More than I remember. Like, again, I think every wheel's different. I have to say, like, one I had didn't strike me as so complex. This one today does. So, yeah,
It has like a little fruity finish too, which is
Yeah.
interesting.
I think so too. And this would melt like a dream, just like the other Alpines, because it's
Oh,
made in
yeah.
that same style, cooked, pressed.
I would take the rind off for fondue though.
Yeah, it's a little thick. It
Yeah.
tastes okay.
Yeah.
With you,
Yeah.
and it tastes. I've eaten my whole tub of this, and nobody else. Like I just like. spit it out.
Here we go. It's good though. I'll take some home when we leave.
So
Like a
Alpines. Obviously, anywhere else does Spain have an Alpine? So Spain doesn't really. I don't think because they don't
Not that
have
I
a
know.
mountainous region to give that. So I think we covered the main mountain regions. It is Germany, Switzerland, Austria, France.
Italy.
A little
bit.
Ah, a little bit of Italy. So the most famous one, probably Fontina.
Oh, is that considered an Alpine cheese?
Yep, it's made in the Alpine style, but that one's so mild, it's very different. But to me, the one Italian that would be that style would be Fontina.
Oh, I have a question for you. This came up the other day. We got the connection after we talked about it for a second. Do you think of Holy Cow as an Alpine style cheese?
I do not. I think of it more of as a Gouda, but it has the holes like an Alpine.
I mean, they market it as a baby Swiss.
Yeah, which is Alpine style. Ah, interesting.
We made the connection when we went from like Gruyere to Emmentaler to Holy Cow.
Ah.
See, when you go that way,
I see what you're saying.
When you don't think of, I don't know if anyone's had Holy Cow. It's a very popular California, Northern California, from Central Coast Creamery up north. We call it a baby Swiss. Looks like a baby Swiss. It's delicious. But do you think of that as an Alpine cheese? And we were at first we're like, no, that's weird. But then we're like, Emmentaler, also a very popular Swiss Alpine style cheese, big gigantic wheels. But that's more similar to Holy Cow. It's just kind of interesting to get everyone's opinion on it.
I would love to talk to the cheesemaker about that.
Yeah, do they think
because it kind of crosses styles in a way.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I can call them and ask.
Exactly. Could you call? Like,
I
we
thought
need to
about
know.
calling.
I'm sure you could.
Great cheese minds need to know.
Dairies, when I was learning how to pronounce certain words, I'm like, I'm just going to call them. What time is it in Switzerland? Can you imagine?
Oh my God.
That's going above and beyond. That's what I'm here for.
Wow, these crazy Americans keep calling me.
It's Kristina again. Don't answer.
There she is. Oh my God, it's her.
And then we fly over there and we're like, hi.
That's her. She's the one
me.
calling you. That would be her. Yeah. So Kristen brought up, the Pyrenees. That's an Alp region of Spain and France, but that's so full of sheep. And interestingly, like an Osso Irati, Abbé de Belloc, and stuff that are made in kind of an Alpine style, but they're not cow's milk. They're sheep milk.
Yeah.
So they're not really considered Alpines. But the Pyrenees is a great mountain range.
I put those in the Basque style.
It's their own kind of style.
But it's like...
But yet the difference is really the milk.
That's it.
They say
Yeah,
the rind,
you're right.
the same rind. So, Kristen, you could call
That's
a
a good
Pyrenees Osso Irati an Alpine style cheese, other than the fact that it's made of sheep. So, yeah. It's crazy. It's all good.
I didn't think that.
If you like it, it's good. It doesn't matter really which category it's in, right?
No.
But very good. Well, that was amazing.
I was very
What
happy
other
with these
Alpine
cheeses.
facts? I just
I'm
think
trying to think.
Oh, I have a... Oh, I can talk about we adopt an Alp.
adopt an Alp. Do
Adopt
tell.
an Alp is something we do every November. And what month is it? June. We just adopted our Alp for this year. So it's like we're already, in case anyone's wondering how close the holidays are, we just put in our first Christmas pre-order for our panettones. But anyways, this has have to do with our adopt an Alp that happens like November, December. It all goes back to the transhumance movement and connecting consumers with the people that make this cheese and have this crazy practice of bringing the animals up and down the mountain. So Benissimo does this Adopt an Alp program where we have an Alp that we've adopted. We learn all about it. We bring in wheels of their cheese. Each Benissimo shop adopted their own Alp this year. So we're adopting three different Alps and bringing in, I think, maybe Mission Hill's got 2 different kinds of cheese. I think I got one.
From the same Alp,
Yeah, North Park got 2 from the same Alp. So it's just kind of a fun program to teach customers about these smaller cheesemakers of these Alpine style cheeses. So.
Yeah, and it supports these little cheesemakers.
Yeah.
I mean, we are talking families. This is a family of 4, and this is what they do.
All
they
day.
just make
Every day.
cheese every day, and especially mostly in the summer. That's the time that they're really making it. And it's kind of fun to support them. So it'd be really neat to meet some of these Adopt an Alp people someday.
Is that something you guys could do in the Alp tour?
I'm wondering now. I'm kind of thinking
about.
about it. Yeah, that could be to adopt one of the, to go to one of the smaller makers versus some of these bigger ones.
That's super special. We can take pictures and we can hang them up and be like,
Exactly. This is our Alp. Like this is my adopted child.
Yeah.
We should all adopt. So very good. Well, I have to say, well done, Kristina. Sarah, this plate is
It was delish.
bar none.
I think it's
Fab.
the most of the plate. I'd eat almost the whole thing.
Almost the whole thing. Me too.
Just
Oh my
couple.
gosh. And no dinner required. That's the
No.
beautiful thing. Everybody says thanks. Everyone loved, I think, all of them. So everyone got, all the cheeses got good votes,
Good.
I have to
Good.
say.
Good,
So,
good.
Alpines.
I know we were talking
have a
about
mix?
like the blind taste test, which will come, but we were talking about maybe chefs for the next one.
Let's do chefs
Like switching
because,
up between soft and hard.
And it's the summer.
Summer chef.
ooh, good one. So,
We could also
next
talk
up.
about like, people are always asking for recipes with cheese and
And
think
wow, that's a
Chev-
versatile one, isn't
Chev
it?
is a very, there are a lot of different kinds. I mean, there's French, there's Spanish, there's American, there's ash coated, there's
Yes.
Yeah.
herb coated, there's fruit coated. Like there's so, and even there's like, wait. So I have a question. Side note.
Uh-huh.
You know Florette.
Yes.
Is that a chef?
Yes. Yes, because it's goat milk. You could call almost any goat
So
milk
I'll
cheese
go,
a chef.
even though it's like so Florette is like a creamy brie texture, but it's
Yes.
goat milk. But you
I
still
know.
call it a chef.
Yes, people, the French would say
They would because
it's a chef.
it's just goat cheese. It's a chef.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. Which I do too. I tend to think of just the soft, fluffy ones
Yeah.
being a chef. The rest are goat cheeses.
Yeah.
That's just the name for the
So
goat.
yeah, another chef to feature is like this brie texture,
Yes.
but goat milk.
We need to do that.
We will. Yeah.
And then just an aged chef, because an aged goat you have to have on there.
Oh, yeah, like
Could
a
be a
road chef.
chef. Right? I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
You do the pepper bites.
Oh, with it.
See, we've already got it set,
Sorry, guys.
everyone.
No
Chef
input.
next month. And yes, everyone's asking to be sure to be notified with the Adopt an Alp. In fact, I think we talked about doing Friends of
We're
Fromage
gonna do
with
an
all
event,
of the
yeah,
Alps.
with the Adopt an Alp.
Yes, so everyone will know
Uh-huh.
about the Alps. Kristen, Carol, everyone that's joined in, appreciate it. We will know and learn and eat, and I
Yeah.
love that one. So Chev, sometime in July
Yes.
will be the next Friends Fromage
Fromage with
Friends.
Fromage with friends.
Gets it wrong. But-
On that note, from Sarah, Kristina, and I, Gina, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank
Enjoy
you,
the
guys.
cheeses. Enjoy the night. See you again, and ciao. Cheers to cheese.
Cheers.
Like we like to
Best
say.
of
Cheers.
cheers.
Oh, now I gotta share my wine too.
Oh, yeah, you don't have to share. Oh my god, that's just so good.